The breakfast table at my parents' mansion was a daily reminder of family hierarchy. My sister Victoria sat in her usual spot, designer suit pristine, Wall Street Journal spread before her. Dad nursed his coffee while reading about the latest market movements. Still living in the basement? Victoria smirked over her imported tea. Must be cozy down there with all your computers. I glanced at my secure phone, watching my company's stock climb another 3%. The acquisition was almost complete. The basement isn't so bad, I said quietly, checking another notification. Sterling Industries transfer proceeding. Final value, $7.3 billion. Lauren, Mom sighed, setting down her porcelain cup. You could have such a wonderful career. Look at your sister, senior VP at Sterling Industries by 30. If they only knew what was happening at Sterling Industries right now. Speaking of Sterling, Victoria preened, we're announcing a major restructuring today. The biggest deal in company history. My phone buzzed. Acquisition complete. Press release in 5 minutes. That's nice, I murmured, watching the final transfer documents populate my secure server. You could at least pretend to be interested. Dad frowned. Your sister's accomplishments are significant, I agreed, noting another alert. New CEO to be announced. All executive positions under review. The basement dwelling phase, Victoria continued, was cute in your 20s. But really, Lauren, it's time to join the real world. Dad's financial alerts started pinging. The morning paper's headlines were about to change dramatically. Actually, I said, I have some news about Sterling Industries. Unless you're finally applying for an entry-level position, Victoria laughed. I don't see how. My phone lit up. Breaking news. Tech giant Nova Enterprises acquires Sterling Industries in $7.3 billion deal. What's happening? Dad demanded, watching his stock ticker app explode with activity. The restructuring announcement, I explained calmly, just moved up a few minutes. Victoria's coffee cup clattered against its saucer as her phone started buzzing with urgent messages from Sterling's executive board. This is impossible, she whispered, face draining of color. Nova Enterprises. They can't. Actually, I smiled, pulling up the holographic display from my simple laptop. We just did. And as the CEO of Nova, I'm afraid your position is under review. Dad's morning paper slipped from his fingers as the headlines refreshed on his tablet. Nova Enterprises CEO Lauren Mitchell, the basement-dwelling billionaire who built a tech empire in secret. Ms. Mitchell, my assistant's voice came through my earpiece. The Wall Street Journal needs your comment on the Sterling acquisition. And Mark Zuckerberg is requesting a lunch meeting. Mom's porcelain cup crashed to the marble floor. Mark Zuckerberg. Tell him Thursday works, I replied, watching Sterling's stock surge on the screens. After my MIT lecture but before the quantum computing announcement. Victoria was frantically scrolling through her phone, watching her career implode in real time. You can't. Own Sterling Industries? I finished, pulling up the corporate org chart. I believe I just did. Along with its subsidiaries in 27 countries. The kitchen's smart displays lit up with breaking news. Tech giant Nova Enterprises reshapes global industry. Lauren Mitchell's net worth surpasses $12 billion. But you live in our basement, Mom whispered. You mean my quantum research facility? I smiled. The one worth more than this house? Victoria's phone wouldn't stop buzzing with panicked messages from her soon-to-be former executive team. Her precious VP title suddenly meant nothing. Her basement-dwelling sister now owned the entire company. Ms. Mitchell, my assistant interrupted again, the Prime Minister of Japan is confirming your keynote. And NASA wants to discuss the Mars communication grid. Dad's hands shook as he pulled up Nova's public filings. This is bigger than Sterling Industries? I nodded. About 30 times bigger, actually. The basement has good acoustics for empire building. The screens showed another update. Sterling Industries executive team to be replaced. Nova Enterprises announces complete restructuring. Your sister's success, Dad had always said at dinner, comes from working within the system. Now Victoria sat silent, watching her basement-dwelling sister control the fate of her career with a few taps on a quantum-encrypted phone. Speaking of systems, I said, checking another notification, Nova just acquired 3 more tech companies during this conversation. My phone displayed another alert. Forbes cover story. The Underground Empire, How Lauren Mitchell Built a Tech Giant from a Basement. Lauren, Mom started, her voice trembling. We never meant to. To dismiss me? I finished. To assume success only looks one way. Victoria's phone chimed with her calendar reminder. Executive Board meeting 9 a.m. About that meeting, I said, watching her face pale further. It's been moved. To my basement office, where your new position will be discussed. The next hour in my basement office redefined family dynamics forever. The underground space Victoria had mocked was actually a quantum computing facility more advanced than anything Sterling Industries had ever seen. Let's discuss the changes, I said calmly, watching Victoria clutch her designer briefcase like a life preserver. Sterling Industries will be completely restructured, starting with its executive team. You can't just... Victoria's voice cracked as holographic displays filled the air, showing Nova's complete corporate structure. Sterling was now a tiny subsidiary in my vast empire. Ms. Mitchell, my assistant announced, the board members are online. Silicon Valley, Tokyo, and London awaiting your directions. The faces of the world's most powerful tech leaders appeared on the quantum screens. My family stood frozen, watching their basement-dwelling daughter command global attention. Before we begin, I addressed the board. The Sterling acquisition is complete. All executive positions are under review. Dad's coffee went cold as he stared at the technology surrounding us. The basement setup he'd criticized now controlled more computing power than the entire Sterling Industries global network. This facility, I continued, gesturing to the quantum processors humming around us, generates more revenue in an hour than Sterling does in a year. But your computer games... Mom whispered, remembering years of dismissive comments. You mean our quantum simulation systems? I smiled. The ones NASA uses for Mars missions. My phone lit up. Nova Enterprises' quantum division valued at $20 billion. Sterling Industries' total value only $7.3 billion. Ms. Mitchell, my assistant interrupted, the Pentagon needs your approval on the Quantum Defense Network. And Elon Musk is holding on line 3. Victoria's perfectly manicured hands trembled. Pentagon. Standard morning, I said, watching Nova's stock surge another billion. Though the UN Security Council meeting later is more interesting. The basement screens displayed breaking news. Nova Enterprises revolutionizes global technology, Sterling Industries to be completely transformed. Your career choices, Dad had lectured countless times, need to show more ambition. Now he watched silently as his basement-dwelling daughter reshaped global technology from an underground quantum lab. About your VP position, I turned to Victoria. I'm afraid it's redundant. Our AI systems replaced that entire department this morning. Victoria's phone buzzed with notifications about her team's mass layoffs. Her corner office at Sterling suddenly seemed quaint compared to my underground empire. The basement jokes, my assistant murmured, seem rather ironic now. Especially, I agreed, watching another billion add to Nova's market cap, since this basement is worth more than Sterling's entire global real estate portfolio. 1 month after the basement revelations, Sterling Industries was unrecognizable. The corporate headquarters Victoria had once ruled had been transformed into a quantum computing hub, with AI systems and holographic interfaces replacing traditional offices. Her prized executive suite now housed a quantum processor more valuable than the entire building. Global integration complete, my assistant reported during the morning briefing. Nova's systems have increased Sterling's efficiency by 800%. Victoria sat quietly in her new role as Junior Innovation Analyst, a position I'd created partly out of mercy. Her designer suits looked out of place among the quantum engineers and AI specialists. The NASA contract alone, she admitted, studying the holographic metrics, generated more revenue than Sterling's entire history. Ms. Mitchell, my assistant interrupted, the Chinese government is requesting our quantum encryption technology. And the European Union needs your input on the global tech initiative. Dad's hands shook as he reviewed the morning reports. Chinese government. Just another Tuesday, I said, watching Nova's market cap tick up another few billion. Though the Saudi Arabia deal is more interesting, The basement screens displayed breaking news. Nova Enterprises becomes most valuable company globally, though Lauren Mitchell reshapes world economy. Remember when you called me the basement dweller? I asked Victoria gently. She nodded, watching her former employees adapt to technology that made Sterling's systems look prehistoric. I was so focused on traditional success. While I was inventing its future, I completed. Sometimes the deepest foundations build the highest towers. Mom's tablet chimed with another alert. Nova Enterprises surpasses $100 billion valuation. Lauren Mitchell becomes world's youngest tech leader. The executive suite, Victoria mused, seems rather quaint now. Like measuring the ocean with a teaspoon, I agreed, pulling up Nova's global impact metrics. Some empires grow better underground. My phone buzzed. International Space Station requesting quantum upgrade. Ironic, Dad said quietly. All those years worrying about you being stuck in the basement. While I was building humanity's future beneath your feet, I finished. Life has a poetic sense of justice. The morning sun filtered through the quantum-enhanced windows we'd installed in my expanded underground complex. In just a month, we'd achieved more innovation than Sterling had in its entire history. Ms. Mitchell, my assistant appeared again. The Mars colony requires your approval on the new quantum grid. And Bill Gates wants to discuss the Global Education Initiative. Mom nearly dropped her coffee. Mars colony? Just another expansion. I smiled. Like that basement setup you were so concerned about. The screens updated with more breaking news. Nova's quantum revolution reaches space. Traditional tech now obsolete. Speaking of obsolete, Victoria said, reviewing the quarterly reports, Sterling's old systems seem almost primitive now. While increasing global connectivity, I nodded. Sometimes the best view isn't from the top floor. It's from the foundation. Dad stared at his reflection in the quantum displays. All those years we thought you were wasting time. While I was laying the groundwork for a revolution, I completed. Some empires are built from the bottom up. My phone displayed another notification. Time Magazine Person of the Year. Lauren Mitchell, the underground billionaire who changed everything. Others, I said, watching my family's quantum-perfect reflection in the smart glass walls, are built in secret. The morning light played through our underground quantum complex, casting digital shadows across the space where my family had once seen only failure. In the basement they dismissed. 3 generations of assumptions about success and ambition dissolved into the new reality I'd built.